Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Jets Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, the Jets. They released their official depth chart before their preseason Week 1 matchup versus the Green Bay Packers. We're going to be diving into every single position group listed. A couple of shockers on here, so make sure you guys stay tuned throughout the entire video. But speaking about the Packers, we are starting our preseason sub battle versus the Packers Report here at Chat Sports. My guy, Joey Peterson, does a great job over there, but I sit right next to him at work, and I would love to beat him in the sub battle. So if you guys have not already, hit that subscribe button on today's show. It's a free, easy way to help us out. And plus, we're going to be going live for the game Saturday night. So if you guys want to tune in, hop on YouTube, look up the Jets Report channel by Chat Sports, and we'll be live. But make sure you guys do hit that subscribe button. Stay up to date on everything on your New York Jets. All right, start off with the quarterback room here. No shockers. Justin Fields getting the first string nod, and it was Tyrod Taylor number 2, and then Adrian Martinez 3, and then Brady Cook follows suit at the 4th-string spot. So Aaron Glenn already came out and said that the starters are going to play Saturday. He said it's going to determine how the game's going in terms of how long the starters will play. So if I had to give my best guess, I think each of these guys will probably get a quarter. I'm not sure if Tyrod's going to end up playing, but I could see Fields getting the first quarter, Martinez gets a second and third, and then Brady Cook gets a fourth quarter. But also, I wouldn't be shocked if Aaron Glenn doesn't like what he's seeing in the first quarter offensively, and he just rides Justin Fields the whole first half, and then Martinez gets the third, and then Brady Cook gets the fourth. But the running back room here, again, no shockers. Breece Hall getting the first string nod, then Braylon Allen getting the second string. This is just kind of logistics. I think this will be a 50-50 split in the backfield. Then also don't sleep on a guy like Isaiah Davis. He showed some pop last year during his rookie campaign. And then also we know Kene Nwangwu, one of the best kick returners in the National Football League. I'll be curious if he makes the roster. I'm going to guess he will, just considering that Aaron Glenn's putting a point of emphasis on the special teams department. So I could see him making it. But also, we do have our lone fullback of the New York Jets, Andrew Beck. He was listed as the only fullback on the roster. Just knowing Aaron Glenn, the mentality he has on the football field, assuming Beck's going to end up making the team, but he is the only fullback listed at 6'3", 255 pounds. Big old guy at the fullback spot. But we're going to kick it to the wide receiver room here. The first stringers, and I will give the Jets website some credit. They actually divvied it up with first string, second string, third string, and fourth string guys. So the first string, you're going Garrett Wilson, Lazard, Josh Reynolds. And then second string, Malachi Corley, Xavier Gibson, and Tyler Johnson. And then a bit of a shocker here, Arian Smith listed as the third string wide receiver. I thought maybe you would just flop him and Corley, but clearly the Jets are still big fans of Corley and his game. Then you also had Jamal Pritchett, Brandon Smith, and then the four stringers, Miller, Wilson, and Skinner. So no huge shockers at the wide receiver room. Maybe you would consider Arian Smith being third string, not second string, but it's going to be a hell of a battle who makes that final 53-man roster, because I think you got 7 guys duking it out for 6 spots. Now, they very well could keep 7 wide receivers, but I think it's going to come down to Malachi Corley and Xavier Gibson as who's going to get that 6th spot in the Jets wide receiver room. Now, it's probably the biggest shocker on today's show, the Jets tight end depth chart. They had Jeremy Ruckert at number 1 as the first-string tight end. And if you guys have been following training camp, he has had a rough camp. Drops have been a major issue. False starts, just really hasn't looked apart. And they actually had Mason Taylor number 2. Now, we'll start to notice a trend. A lot of these rookies were buried in the depth chart more than we thought they would have been. I don't know if this is Aaron Glenn kind of using this as motivation for the rookies to be like, hey, even though we love you, you look great so far, you still got to go earn your spot on this team. But again, Mason Taylor, he'll be tight end 1 for this unit majority of the season. But then you also had Stone Smart 3, Neil Johnson, and Zach Kuntz, the big old 6'8" tight end. I was huge on him when he was coming out of college. Just didn't really end up working out so far in his NFL career, but assuming the top 3 guys end up making the final 53-man roster. Now, kick it to the offensive line. We're going to start off at left tackle here. Olu Fashanu, obviously the first-string left tackle. He's looked really good in camp, so that's very promising for Jets fans. And also Max Mitchell coming in at the backup left tackle spot, and then Carter Warren as the third-string left tackle. Now, left guard, you got John Simpson as the lead man at the first-string unit. Cole Leveio, Leonard Wingen, and Samuel Jackson. Not Samuel L. Jackson, but Samuel Jackson, fourth-stringer there for the New York Jets. Again, I love this offensive line. I'm a big fan of John Simpson. If he stays healthy, he should have another monster year, and he's probably going to set himself up to get paid very nicely next year during free agency. Now, the center department, thought there was maybe a chance that, Josh Myers may be listed as a guard or a center, but they obviously got him as the backup center here to Joe Tippmann, and then Liam Fornadell as a third-string center on the Jets' offensive line. So I'm assuming that the first-string offense will get majority of the work during the first quarter, maybe the second quarter. Then we'll see Josh Myers get a whole lot of run in the third and fourth quarter this upcoming Saturday. Right guard, no shocker, Elijah Vera Tucker getting the first-string nod, and then Xavier Newman for second, and Marquise Hayes as the third-string right guard there. So, Vera Tucker, kind of similar to John Simpson. If he has another good year, he's going to set himself up to get paid very, very nicely next offseason. Now, the right tackle, you got Armand Membu. He looked great so far in training camp. All the guys are just raving about him. Just his play strength is translating. Because obviously he was one of the strongest right tackles this past college football season at Mizzou. That strength is sometimes a little tough to carry over to the NFL level, but he looks like he's been doing it so far. He also had Okorafor as the backup right tackle. I will say, at the backup tackle position, actually got two decent options behind Membu and Fashanu. But speaking about the Jets offense, if you guys could, give the Jets offense a Madden rating for me, 1 through 99 down below in the comments section. Madden just came out. I'm sure a lot of you guys are playing it. If I had to give it, I'd probably give them a solid 82, 83 overall. But if you guys disagree, drop your thoughts down below in the comments. Now we'll get to the defense here in just a second. But before we do so, if you guys want to get a new New York Jets hoodie, we got a sweet deal going on right now. Just head on over to chatsports.com/Jets hoodies. I got this link for you guys in the comment section and description of today's show. I think they're pretty sweet. The cutoff hoodie look, old school football look that obviously Aaron Glenn has been embracing, being the new New York Jets head coach. So got that link in the comments and description, chatsports.com/Jets hoodies. All right, let's kick it to defensive tackle here. Bit of a shocker, I would say, having Byron Cowart ahead of Derek Nottie in terms of the first stringers, but obviously Quinnen Williams, Jay Tufeli as a second stringer, Leonard Taylor, and then Fidarian Mathis as the third stringers, and then Fatorma Muba and Peyton Page as a fourth stringer. Watch out for Peyton Page. He's been turning heads at training camp. Outside chance to make the 53-man roster, but if he continues a strong play and he has a good preseason, I could definitely see him cracking that final 53-man roster for the New York Jets. And another, I want to call it shocker here, but if you just see Jermaine Johnson listed as the fifth string on the bottom right of your screen, you will be a little shocked. But this is just because of the injury, him working his way back. But the first stringers, you did have Will McDonald, obviously, and then Michael Clemens. Second string, going Rashad Weaver and Eric Watts, and Tyler Barron and Braden McGregor as the third stringers. And fourth, we're going Michael Fletcher and Kingsley Jonathan. Now, I think this edge group has a chance to be very, very dominant for the Jets. And the question is going to become, can they stop the run at a high enough level? Because Will McDonald, Jermaine Johnson, when it's a third and long situation, those are two of the better pass rushers in the NFL. But can they set the edge on early downs? Can you allow yourself to get into third and eights? I heard Glenn talking about it. It's actually probably about a month ago now. He was saying, hey, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. And how do you earn that right? You stop the run on early down. So he's going to have these edges setting the edge, hopefully at a high level, but very excited to see what that group's going to do this upcoming season. Now, the linebacker depth chart actually listed 3 guys as first stringers. Be curious to see if they actually run 3 linebackers majority of the snaps during the season, but obviously Jamien Sherwood, Quincy Williams, then training camp winner, Marcelino McCrary Ball. Definitely botched that pronunciation, but he's been turning heads at camp, so that's definitely promising. And then you had Jamin Davis, and then Francisco, the linebacker out of Miami, who the Jets drafted in the 4th round. Same with Zaire Barnes, Jackson Sermon, Jamarcus Weston, and then Boog Smith. What an elite name. Jets have a ton of cool names here. Boog Smith, love that name for a linebacker. But again, with Jamien Sherwood and Quincy Williams, those two, they are they're the captains, they're the quarterbacks of the defense. So I'm expecting those guys to, have a monster season. Obviously, Jamien just got paid. I wouldn't be shocked if Quincy gets an extension before the season. He's only set to make $5.6 million this upcoming year, so maybe they give him a little bit of a pay raise. But still, those two guys, Aaron Glenn's going to have those two humming when the season begins. Now, at the cornerback room, Sauce Gardner, Brandon Stevens, and Michael Carter II as the first stringers. Obviously, Michael Carter rocking the slot there, but Brandon Stevens, he's looked good in camp. I was not a fan of that signing when it initially came out, but Aaron Glenn's been giving him a ton of praise, and same with Quantez Stiggers. He has looked awesome so far at camp. But again, you see AZ Thomas listed as a third stringers. I think this is just Glenn maybe playing some mental games with these guys where it's like, yeah, even though you're having a good camp so far, you still got to go earn it. Then you got Chris Boyd joining him in the third stringers. And then another elite name, Bump Cooper. Love that name for a corner. Hopefully he makes some plays during the preseason. Now at the safety room, again, Malachi Moore. He's not buried with the third stringers, but he is with the second stringers with Andre Sisco and Tony Adams getting the first string nod. I think it's going to be, sooner rather than later that we see Malachi Moore end up starting for this team. I think he's got great instincts. I think Aaron Glenn, he's been raving about his versatility. You can put him all over the field defensively, and those versatile safeties, you can play him at linebacker, you can play him at nickel corner, free safety, strong safety. For these smart defensive minds, it is such a weapon for guys like Steve Wilkes and Aaron Glenn. So even though he's listed as a second string right now, I could honestly see this once week one rolls around. If Malachi Moore has a good preseason, he could end up starting over Tony Adams. But I'll ask you guys this. Who are you most excited to watch during the preseason? For me, without saying Justin Fields, I got to go Armand Membu. Obviously, it's tough to evaluate offensive line play during training camp, but you obviously get a great look during, real preseason action. So you guys let me know. Pick a player for me and drop that name down below. Now, like I said, we are going to be going live probably about 15 minutes before kickoff, so tune in. We'll be live here on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next time. As always, go Jets.